Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Lifestyle by SK, where wine, cigars, and relationships create that table shift extraordinary experience. So today we're going to be talking about another topic here. We're going to be talking about the career, your calling, and burnout. And I can tell you that this here from personal experience. A lot of men don't always necessarily hate their jobs, but they hate that their jobs is killing their purpose in life. I mean, think about it. You go and work somewhere for 20, 30, 35 years to then find out that at any given moment at will, they can just let you go and everything is pretty much gone. But men are taught to work, not to dream, because their dreams are not always given the praise of what it would be for women a lot of the times. And many men have felt that. And it most definitely feels like a trap between responsibility and the fulfillment, and that burnout is silent. It's a silent killer within men, but it shows up everywhere, every single time. But the reality that we live in right now is that during that quiet breakdown period, that exhaustion with no relief is like an emotional numbness to a man's brain. Think about it for a second. Look at the men in your family, ladies. Look at it. Look at when the women are celebrated. Look at when the men are celebrated. Even with the smallest accomplishments, is there dreading that every new week, feeling disconnected from life and running on survival mode 24/7, 365. And that burnout isn't when you stop working. That burnout is happening when you stop feeling it. And this is a conflict between career and calling, because a career, the thing is, when you're looking at that internal battle there, that career is oftentimes equated to survival. You're just trying to get out there and do it because it has to be done. You have to make money. You can't just live just twiddling your thumbs. But that calling provides a purpose, and you are able to fulfill that a different way than that you ever had before. Because when you're looking at it the first way that I explained, that's going to create resentment, depression, and an emptiness within your soul. There are very few men who reach their purpose in life, but there's a whole lot of us that experience that career. And men are taught you just have to get out there and do it. But when a man ignores his calling long enough, it will be at that point when he's going to break. He becomes a stranger to himself. So it's almost like his purpose has left his body. Now, why men stay in a soul draining job on a deeper level is the fear of failing, because we have no backup or place to go for support if we fail at something, especially when it comes to work. The consistent pressure that we have from social media and online podcasts and people within your family is that pressure to always provide. You don't have the guidance, you don't have the mentorship, because nobody wants to talk about it. And men will hold this internally. And because they're working so much and working these graveyard shifts and 12 plus hours and 80 plus hours a week, the lack of time and energy is not there for you to plan an exit so that you can move on to the next level in your life. And this starts at a very young age, and it goes up to being a middle-aged man. And I want you all to really pay attention. Just look at the friends that are around you, and you'll be able to see a glimpse of what I'm talking about. And then when men try to get to a point, the feeling guilty, they're feeling guilty within because of they want more to life. We don't get a oops. We don't get a do-over. You have to get it right by any means necessary. And men don't stay because they're weak. They stay because they're responsible. They own up to the ownership of it. Their homeboys that tell them when they slacking. They homeboys gonna keep them on code, which they should. but we are there from sun up to sundown. And there's a different stress level in men and women. There's things that we do differently. We both can't do the same thing. But when you looking at your friends, your brothers, your homeboys, frat brothers, whatever the case may be, you can look for different signs that are out there. And some of those signs I want to share with you, and whether they're not going to be always inclusive of being everything, but just some different points that you can look at there. But look at if one of your homeboys may become irritated real easy. Do they get mad at the slightest little comment or something? Or do they have any kind of emotional withdrawal from something or a decision that they made? Or feeling like they stuck on that hamster wheel going over and over and over for a dead end job that they can't pass down to their son or daughter. Because think about it, you can't pass your job down to your son or daughter unless you are the owner and the founder of that company. Let's just be real about that. And there's no motivation behind that because they don't feel motivated enough because they don't have other men talking to them to help push them on. But see, when we ask for help, then it is a problem you considered weak. And there's always help for women out there. There's always going to be help for women out there. If they fail, they have a sister code that's going to push them up. But if men fail, you will be ridiculed, even within your own family, even by your own parents. You're going to be ridiculed for not making it, not making the cut. And what happens after that? Your sleep started getting impacted, started get depression, and burnout. Burnout's not going to always be loud. It's silent, as I described. It's like it whispers in your ear until it becomes a scream. So you know how like you have that little devil on your shoulder. You got an angel over here and a devil over here. That's what that is. The devil just getting to you and just burning you up. But how we as men, so let's take it all the way there. How men can balance purpose and responsibility. There's a couple of ways. It's going to be different, of course, for most people as always. But just for the clarity, I heard somewhere where you take like a 30 minutes a day towards your calling. Fellas, if you want to open up your own plumbing business, if you're a plumber, just taking 30 minutes to help work towards your calling is definitely better than playing video games and just sitting there wasting your time doing something constructive. Like you can do, like that is considered a constructive and positive affirmation towards your life to build those skill sets so that way you're not sitting there stressed out. But stop trying to take a leap, but learn to transition into what you need to. And even if you need to seek help from somebody that is older than you, that's maybe already in that space to help you with the guidance, is definitely a phenomenal first step. Like I talk to people as far as like technology, and as much as I don't want to mentor anyone, it's always like you want to do better for yourself and get to a certain point before you start trying to help somebody else but me, and look for somebody out there that is in the position in terms of something, doing something great in life that you want to get to, and then you use your career to fund your calling. So use your 9 to 5 to fund a calling for your small business that you created there, because the job pays the bills, but the purpose builds the man itself. And I want you all to always keep that in mind. But I want to leave you with this. Never under any circumstances, the burnout does not mean that you weaken. I never want you to believe that. But it means that you have been strong for too long without the proper rest. You have to get that, and you can honor your responsibilities and still chase the man that you were meant to become. So definitely take that to heart. Keep it in mind. Once again, another awesome episode, Lifestyle by SK, where wine, cigars, and relationships create that table shift extraordinary experience. You all have a good one.